Good morning, everyone. I'm off camera right now, just getting settled. It's raining on my island. Today's interview is going to be with Queen Gidry at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So we'll do some tech around then. I'm just getting my island started right now, getting it loaded. See if Isabel has any announcements. So I'll go for mute for now. Thanks. Okay, just updated my date on the bottom. Give us a sec, text starting. We are officially unmuted. Cool. Yeah, so your Isabel mug, your partner got it for you. Is your partner also into Animal Crossing?
Hold on for 1 second. I'm like, I have the stream going, but there we go. Yeah, my partner is actually the one that wanted to get the game. I hadn't played it before. I had gotten really deep into Stardew Valley, and I was like, I think you're going on local instead of online.
Oh, thank you.
I think that's why. Yeah. The dialogue's really long for the airport.
I know, I always get lost. In one of my last interviews, I was at the airport trying to get in their island for 20 minutes, and we were just talking, and I was like,
yeah. So when Orville's paperwork, go to visit someone and then go to online.
Oh, whew. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. If you do local play, that means like if we're in the same room together.
I always forget that.
Which I never do that. I'm always even if I am in the same room as my partner and we're playing Animal Crossing, we end up doing it online.
Aww.
My partner actually got another Switch because they wanted to design their own island.
What?
Instead of sharing one with me. Because you'll see my island is crazy, and no, it's not crazy. It is thorough, at least in theme, not in completion.
There's no room for an extra house. Wait, when you share an island with someone, they give you an extra house, right?
Well, yeah, they have a house here. They just wanted to design their own theme.
Oh, for sure.
And I kind of took over from the start, so.
Yeah, so you mentioned your partner actually got you into Animal Crossing, and you're playing Stardew Valley. And I don't know where your line of thought was, but you mentioned maybe you didn't need Animal Crossing, or that you were already content with some social simulation game.
I mean, it's such a different game. It's the thing. It's just that, like, I'm always skeptical about hype for stuff. But so many of my friends were playing it and started. But actually, I think I just like the item collections were really interesting to me, and it was literally came out the day after like everything closed in New York, which is where I'm based. So my I teach in schools, so the school shut down, and then like the next day, Animal Crossing dropped, and it was like the timing was so well. I don't know if I would have gotten into it if it hadn't been for that timing.
No, say more. I mean, so I know a lot of people got into Animal Crossing during the COVID-19 quarantine starting in the US in May-ish. Was it around then or a little earlier that you got into it? And
it was in March, I think.
March?
Because the quarantine started a lot earlier in New York.
Oh, for sure.
It hit here really early.
Yeah.
And so yeah. All right, here we are. You look amazing.
Oh, thank you. My like Halloween costumes. I'm in Halloween time on my island in 2020 because I stopped playing it, and I was gonna ask you whether your playing has fluctuated since like last year to this year.
Oh yeah, totally. Like I haven't played in a really long time. I actually just started playing recently because of the new update, and there's so many new items and like new activities and the DLC as well. So I started playing again after that dropped, and it's been really motivating to kind of start designing and doing things again. So, but yeah, I definitely dropped off for like months. Like all my villagers were like, "Where are you? Like, where have you been? I haven't seen you in 3 months." I'm like, "Damn, I'm so sorry." Do you want a tour?
Yes, please get started. So I'm starting here. Love these lamps. Are they designs, like personally designed lamps, or did you grab these?
So, yeah, I'll run it down for you. So, like, how long? Wait, let me ask you first. So, what's your experience with Animal Crossing? How long have you played it for? Like, what? How? Like, tell me.
Yeah, I've played it since March, and I went hardcore. Like, got the Lily of the Valley within 2 months, and then I broke my ankle, and I was trying to play this more. Then I stopped in November, so it was a really hardcore up, and then I just got back into the game last month.
Wow.
So yeah.
Okay.
But I went hardcore when I went into it, but I stopped.
Yeah. I think that's the case for a lot of folks, unless you're streamers or like they do like island tours or something like that. So I what really got me motivated, I was doing really normie play, and just like digging things, collecting things, getting like I don't know, like cots and barbecue sets, like super normie stuff at the beginning, which was really cute and it was really fun. But there was this moment where so Animal Crossing is coming out. That's a great like stress relief. It's cute. It's fun. You can play with your friends. The pandemic just dropped too. Quarantine just dropped for me in New York, and there was a lot of hate crimes going on, like a lot, and people were. I think that the Asian American community was definitely tuned in and talking about it, obviously, but folks were also just freaking out about the pandemic, things closing. And I posted something on social media that basically was like urging my community to talk about these things, to raise awareness about anti-Asian hate crimes. And I had a friend respond to me that they would maybe address it in person, but not they weren't going to post anything about it. They're like, I'm only going to post positivity. I'm not going to post anything about racism or hate crimes. And it really, really bothered, I was so upset, because it's like, you do not need to reach out to me to let me know that you are not going to extend your support. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to say anything, actually. And so I got, as like an educator, as an artist, like I just started researching disease, viruses, and racism. And I came across this article about the United States burning a gift of cherry blossoms from Japan because they were thought to be diseased. And at that same time, that's when in April. It was around April-ish, like going into April is when everything in the game in Animal Crossing changes. It's all cherry blossoms. So all the hardwood trees, or all the regular trees that aren't fruit trees, they change to cherry blossoms, and it's this magical, beautiful, like, you know, like time, just like in real life when that happens. And if you're lucky enough to live in a place that has cherry blossoms, or even a cherry blossom tree, it's this magical experience. And that kind of coinciding with me as an artist, I was like, I wanted to do something with this concept of burning cherry blossoms. And as an installation artist, I was thinking something in real life, obviously not something dangerous, but maybe metaphorical, maybe something I could build. And then when these digital items were released or revealed in the game, I was like, oh shit, like I don't have the means to build something in real life, especially right now, or maybe ever, but I have the means within this game, within Animal Crossing. And so I just went super hard. immediately, like when I just started, I was like kind of messing around with thinking about it, and then and I'll just kind of like, we can kind of walk around so you can see. So this is before I unlocked any of like the terraforming or tiling or anything. So I did all of this just like one piece by one piece, like one tile by one tile, because I got into the designing before those tools are really available. But I was just like, I don't know, I think maybe part of it was just I needed to focus on something. I think part of it made me a little bit mad at myself. Like, why do you need to do more projects or more art, even within a video game, that you could just be like relaxing with or hanging out with friends? I'm gonna bring us to a little picnic area so we can hang out. Here. Yes, please have a seat.
Yes, so say more about, so, you know, your in-person life with your friends versus being on here, focusing your time on something that's digital, and then also not everyone can engage with it. How did you balance the two?
Oh, you mean like for friends that aren't on Animal Crossing?
Yeah, I guess I'm more getting into like, you know, online activism with face-to-face activism, and kind of like how Animal Crossing provides an intersection between them, and then more. I would love to for you to talk more about radical play as well in terms of Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah. Well, so it's really there's definitely this component of there's access, and then not everyone can be in the game, and then also not everyone, it's like not only is it about having a Switch, but some people just don't play video games or don't play this kind of like cozy kind of low stakes video game either. And I do think that there's still accessibility there, because you can make video, you can give tours, you can take photos and still communicate. So folks that aren't necessarily able to or interested in engaging in like an in-person situation like we're doing, there are outlets there to have those touch points. In terms of like making it, did you bring food?
Yeah. Sorry for interrupting you.
No, that's like part of like the fun. Yes, I love it. Yes. So there's that, and I think so. Part of what was really fun about this process is that my friends helped me making. So every single item on the island. So whether that's like the fires themselves, all of these lanterns that you see, like the blossom lanterns, those take a lot of materials. They take hardwood, and then you also have to like catch cherry blossom petals with your net in the air, and they take massive amounts of petals, massive amounts of wood, tree branches, So if anyone's watching that doesn't play the game, pretty much every item you either have to buy with currency in the game, or you have to craft by combining items together. So it takes a lot of collecting power. And so I just basically told my friends, like, hey, I'm gonna build this. This is the concept. This is why I'm building it. Can you help me? Like, if you have time, do you want to come over and craft? Do you want to collect things for me? This is where I'm looking for it. Everybody was super into it. Like, in the plaza area that we're in before with the fountain.
Yeah.
I set up like 4 or 5 DIY stations, and my friends came over and they just DIY'd like tons, massive amounts of like campfires. If I didn't have the DIY for tiki torches or bonfires, so my friends came over and took sometimes you have to combine like a campfire with another thing to make the bonfire or something like that. So like just came over and just went at it.
That's so beautiful. Some work parties, and also wood is really hard to come by.
Any wood that you're like looking for is the one.
Yeah, okay. That is true. That is true.
Stone is also, I think, become even more hard to find in the game. I don't know. Every time I like try to hit a rock, I just get clay and iron. So yeah, so that was a really fun part of the game. And for me, it was like, because I was building this around the concept of an installation that was partly like paradise, anti-paradise, like a digital protest. That's how I was conceptualizing it. To have my friends come in that were, whether they're Asian or non-Asian, for them to know my concept and to come through and just like build with me was really, it felt like allyship. It felt like support, community support. And it was very healing to have that. It was very healing to have that within the game.
Maria said, love the anti-paradise and digital protest concept on the chat.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. It was so early on in the Animal Crossing like community and like collective obsession of folks, that like at that time, like there was no like island tours or even like Instagram like profiles kind of thing for conceptualizing. So it was like it was so crazy. I was like really, really into it. I was really excited about it. And then like as things progressed, I was like, oh shit, look at what all these like crazy talented designers are doing. There's so much inspiration to move into. I would have my students would sometimes play with me too. And I teach like digital photography, and I did like some after school programs and stuff. Yeah. And it was a really great way to connect. And they were reading my island because they're like, you don't have any paths on your map. And I was like, that's because I didn't unlock paths. I started this before I unlocked any of this. Yeah. And they were like, yeah, but your map is like, you need to redo it because your map doesn't show like like, you want me to retile all the lava and all of the like rainbow like pansexual flag tiles on the map? Like, no. Like, are you gonna help me? It was so funny.
No, this is beautiful. When I read the description on your website, like I didn't even know that there was like, Maria mentioned crowdsourcing and then also this intergenerational part of it as well. So that is, oh my gosh, that's beautiful, and it made the project like way more community engaged than I thought.
Yeah, the building process. I think that if you're trying to build something, like there's so much repetition in this, and I think that also happens in my own my own work as a installation artist, I use a lot of repetition of objects and sculptural forms. So I think that with a lot of the designs that I see, we can keep going. Thank you for the. But what did you? I thought.
Oh, you can grab it. It's yours. I don't know if you can grab it.
Thank you. I'll have this for lunch.
Yes. Some fried rice. Yeah.
I love it. I'm gonna get very distracted because we're playing Animal Crossing.
No, it's totally fine. I love your outfit as well. Oh my gosh, did you make that?
Thank you. This is definitely a downloaded code. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. What else do I got in here? I don't remember. Ooh. This one I designed. These are my jammies.
Oh, yes. The pacifier, yes.
I love that one. What else? This is one of my favorite ones too.
Oh.
It's cozy.
Yes.
So yeah, this is like I've gone through a lot of different forms, and I wanted to create areas of like intensity. Obviously, there's a lot of fire and lava, and then I was like, do I want to go hard and make the whole island this? And I was like, well, that's kind of boring for you as a player too, to have everything be the same. So I wanted to, and I'm still working on this because I'm seeing what are the possibilities of the game. But I wanted to create areas of rest and restoration too. This is like my like kind of like Japanese like Harajuku kind of town here, where you can get like boba and ice cream and yeah, over here we can go to the strawberry shop. There's a ladder up here. You see it?
Yes. Oh my gosh, so much depth. I love it. It makes everything feel tall and so pretty. Okay.
Like just putting in my favorite things. So this is like nothing to do with the concept of the installation, but that was like a question I had to ask myself. It's like, okay, if you're going to make something really intense and like slightly apocalyptic, or like what do you really want to live there all the time? And I think that for me is like a metaphor on how when you're under threat in your everyday life, how the world can feel that way sometimes. And it can feel like a threat, and it can feel like danger, and you have to protect yourself, but to be able to balance with places of respite. And I think for a lot of folks, and a lot of, whether it's you're like BIPOC or Asian American, like food and communities of food, or like going to even being able to go to a Chinatown and get together with friends, or like that's a huge part of the rest and rehabilitation, and like the mini paradises that we can create in these like capsuled moments. So that's why I really wanted to make areas that just had variation and gave me joy, put all my favorite little things in these areas.
No, I love the concept. It's taking care of our rage and our joy at the same time, and it's so pretty.
Yeah. So yeah, let me show you the area that I probably like went hardest on.
We'll go back over here, right?
All this tiling. What's that?
We'll go back to this area later on, right?
Oh, you want to go back?
Oh no, we don't have to go back. I just want to make sure we don't forget about. Is this the last time? Because if so, I'll take a quick picture. I just want to double check. I forgot to take a picture over here.
Yeah, we can let's do a thorough sweep of this area. We can totally do that. So
sorry.
I appreciate you appreciating.
Yeah.
This
is a lot of work. Oh my gosh. And I love the telephone poles. The utility poles.
Yeah.
And then the TV.
I love city builds.
Ooh.
But I feel like they're so serious, So like for me, if I like, this is like my little city build area. Coming on the bridge is actually a really cute place for a picture.
Oh, thank you. Oh, your island. Hi.
That's Diana. She's in your way. Oh my goodness.
Well, yeah, so what's your relationship with your villagers?
Oh, I love my villagers.
Yeah.
I have a hard time letting them go. I feel like I don't have like a lot of like swapping of villagers because the friend simulation is very precious to me. Yeah, this is one of my favorite spots to take a photo. I'll take a picture too. Whoa, do you have like a Gundam on your shirt?
Oh, I don't think so. I thought it was just the robo. What did their?
Is that an item in the game, or did you download it?
I got it from a present.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Yeah. So it's real. It's not designed.
It's real. It's Nintendo.
Yeah, it is. So, but yeah, I love their graphic tees. Awesome. I think they're so funny.
Yeah, I love the Gundam is like a big inspiration for me for artistically. Do you have a ladder?
Do I? Oh yeah, I do. Great. Oh, you're gonna be like, that's the only way you can get up here. If not, then...
Yeah, I'm gonna put, now that you can actually put permanent ladders or vines here, I'm definitely gonna do that. But I haven't done that one yet. Oh, I can actually give you a boba. Do you want, let's see, I have two different kinds. Do you want green tea or like a milk tea?
I'll do a milk tea. What do you mean give me a boba?
Right there. Go pick that up. What I just popped.
Okay.
You haven't played in a while. You know that there's boba in the game?
What? I haven't heard anyone talk about that. That is... Wait.
That's a crime. You can drink it.
What the...
Yeah. You can sip boba.
Oh
I know.
My gosh. What's in this? So, I mean, I can Google it. Let's move on. I'll Google it.
Wait, you're just like, how, why, when?
How do you make it? I mean, and how long does it last? Like, if I sip it 10 times.
Oh, yeah. So, I guess with every sip, you get like, it's like the same as eating a fruit. But that's new. It used to just be a cosmetic thing that you would just sip it and be cute. Damn it! Did I finish it? It's only 3 sips. Be precious with it. I wanted to like walk around with it, like hang out and like walk around. I have more in my storage, but anyways, yeah. So the boba you get from Red's raffle.
Maria mentioned in the chat, with the new update, I saw that there's an IRL highly coveted rattan peacock chair. That's something I'm going to try to find online through Discord exchanges, because I don't think I can wait for it to show up at Nooks or Reds. I can't believe it took Nintendo this long to put boba in the game.
Yeah, I know, right? It was before the big update, actually. It was like a mini update that happened, and they added boba. But yeah, this is my little tea shop. I definitely want to update it with some new items as they come. I saw that rattan peacock chair. I know what you're talking about. So I definitely dropped on Nookazon and got a few items, but I couldn't wait for it too. So, let's go to my, I have a large graveyard altar space that I'd love to show you, but do you want to like pick some flowers to take there first?
Yeah.
Okay. Flowers or fruit. This is my little normie town space. And this is a work in progress over here. Oh, I can show you some more respite places. Let's take a shortcut here behind Able Sisters. So I got some flowers here if you want to take some. I'll take some of these green chrysanthemums. And maybe some windflowers. This is one of the first areas that me and my partner built together, actually.
Aww.
It's like one of those like waterfall areas. So if you go to the middle, if you jump to that middle area and point up, it's really pretty. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. It's like a good spot for a picture.
I love how you've already cased that all of this.
Yeah.
Oh, you have.
I know this island so well. So my partner helped me. They're good at pixel art. Yeah. So in terms of like mapping how to do things, they're really good at that. Yeah.
So I was wondering, has Animal Crossing also been a way for you to connect more with your like loved ones, your friends, your significant other, and also strangers? I mean, I feel like I'd be considered a stranger.
So, oh yeah, it's been really fun. I think especially towards the beginning, folks were even like posting their Switch friend codes just onto Instagram, like very openly, just being like, hey, like, can we play? And that was like some of the first people I played with were just complete strangers, because it was so exciting to be able to just go to different islands and see different people's outfits and stuff. Like that was really fun to me. It's like, so yeah, definitely reconnected with old friends, and that was probably one of the best parts of the game. It's like, instead of getting on a phone call, you can just get on Animal Crossing and catch up and hang out and stuff. So here is this shrine space. I just swapped that out for the new Shinto Shrine.
What the? Wow.
Yeah, so this is like the build that probably took the most planning.
Yeah.
To do. So I wanted kind of a centerpiece for the installation, like the pads and the trees, and kind of immersing it as like a design staple in the island with the fire and the cherry blossoms. Like did that, and then I really wanted like a centerpiece, like that would kind of pay homage, but also like incorporate rage and protection into it as well. What I really like about the limitations of the gameplay is that you can't actually light anything on fire. So while I don't think I did the best job explaining maybe the inspiration for this work at the beginning, but this really is centered on this event of the United States burning massive amounts of cherry blossom trees that were thought to be diseased, and they were incinerated. They are gone. You will not get those trees back. That image really haunted me. But within this digital context, recreating that exact act of, whether it's protection, whether it's violence, you can't actually do that in Animal Crossing. So no matter how many fires that I put out like this, nothing will actually ever catch on fire. These trees are completely invincible. And these graves are also completely invincible. They will be in proximity, but they are protected by the limitations of the game themselves, which I loved. Is this like kind of powerful metaphor for like, in this we could never have this kind of image live in real life. You cannot have fires of this magnitude next to trees and not have them be damaged, not have them be incinerated. So I like that there are ways that the items combined that create scenarios, of course, that cannot be replicated, even though they're meant to replicate real life.
And did you feel like, as you were trying to, whoa, I think you're lagging, or is that?
Oh yeah.
What?
Probably because I have so many items on display.
Oh, I thought that was a reaction. I was like, shuffling.
No, it's
I was gonna. Sorry, what was I gonna ask? Oh yeah, as you started to build out the original cherry blossom incineration, did you feel like it was changing as you were building, as you learned? Because got the game, or then you thought of like this theme, or did you think of the theme as you got the game, and then as you started learning Animal Crossing and the ways about it, the concept also changed with it?
Yeah, so when I got the game, I just played just to have fun, just to like enjoy the game. And then it was when I saw the cherry blossoms and I saw the fire, that's when I realized that I could build this installation that I was imagining within the game, which definitely felt it was more accessible actually, and a lot safer. And then as more items were like made accessible to me through the gameplay, that's when I was able to start adding things, or adding the gravestones, being able to build these places of ancestral connection, or honor, worship, visitation. And this little alcove here for us to drop our flowers at.
The one orange. This is the first orange I've seen on your island, and I love how it's the.
Yeah, I love the orange trees. I think that they're my favorite. The peach trees used to be my favorite, but I love the oranges. They remind me of eating oranges with my family. I have these little rock stone things that you can put your flowers on if you want. Have you been finding with the folks that you've interviewed that they have like a specific person in mind that they're paying respects to with their altar making?
Oh yes, I know Maria, who's going in the chat. We did an interview, and they had pancakes in their kitchen, and pancakes are a new feature, but they put it on there to pay homage to their father who passed away recently. Because that was his specialty, was making pancakes. And then in another interview, B mentioned that their dog Pele passed away as well. So there's a spot on their islands that is like for their pup to hang out with, like a barbecue, a couch, and a tent for camping. So it's been beautiful. I'm not sure if like when I ask people to interview whether I don't think it matters, but whether they made an altar. I think it happened before I even asked, and I think that's also the cool part about Animal Crossing. Sorry, I just touched my new Nook Miles. I don't know why I did that. Just like happened. I was like, oh, I have a Nook Miles. So yeah, as you been in touch with other people around this project, have you seen other people create altars on their islands? And then I was wondering how folks have perceived your engagement on Animal Crossing in this way, because I think the first time I mentioned this to someone, I was like, I want to do this project, they're like, fuck Tom Nook, and they're like, you can't do that type of stuff on this like capitalist, colonialist, escapist themed island, and what does engagement even look like on it? I don't know if like an altar can be made on it, but there's actually so much more to the game, as you know. So please.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's like a lot of I think with life sim games in general, there's like areas that repeat real life in ways that we don't want in a paradise, that we don't want to see replicated in like a utopia that we create. And I think that the game designers like do that on purpose. I think that they put in these situations that are not ideal, that you do have to navigate. I think Animal Crossing can be super deep. I think it can get super, super deep. And you can take it as you will. Like if that's not the right fit for you, if that like is not the escape that you are looking for, or the exploration that you're looking for within a game. I totally get that. I have like some of my best friends, I've been trying to get them to play for a long time. They're just like, it's not for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't understand that. I think
side note, I do not understand that.
You don't understand that? I
Oh no, I was just mimicking you. I definitely yeah. I can see it, but also at the same time.
Yeah. I think it's also about giving. It really depends. I mean, I don't even know if I would be playing the game now if my partner hadn't bought it and like put it like literally like in my hands to play and to see I think for me, what really got me hooked was the Japanese items, because they were familiar to me as like a Japanese American, and my house growing up we had a lot of very traditional items, and so being able to access these items digitally and see that familiarity was, when your family is immigrants and you don't have access to these certain things, and you see them like so beautifully like digitally rendered, or you're able to create an environment that you don't have access to. I see a lot of folks do that. They create places or towns even that make them feel comfy, nostalgic, or even are representations of their own homes or communities. It's like it's a really, really powerful tool to just like to share with others. But I think even for self, like, I don't think Animal Crossing necessarily has to be about, you know, you sharing like publicly what you've created. I think that it can be a private ritual and a private place for you to rest as well.
Yeah. No, and I love how you mentioned about you being drawn to it due to the Japanese objects, and like, I mean, like even just like fried rice, like, and how beautiful it looks, and like you can't get that in other games. And it's not about like me wanting to buy more objects. Like, these objects are things that, like, I grew up in Indiana. Like, I did not grow up in near an Asian enclave. And yeah, no, it's a different vibe. I'm not like buying it because I want more things or like the value of objects. It's it's things that I feel like are home to me, that are rare in my real life. And I love how you mentioned like beautifully rendered, because they are just like everything that moves, the wind, how lifelike it is. It's mesmerizing. And it's not, I don't know, it's definitely not because I like objects being this pretty or like the perfection of it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's
that totally makes sense. Come stand with me. Let's take a picture. If you tilt your camera up, you can see the Torii Gate. Yeah, that's a good shot.
I love
I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you for coming to see me. Thank you.
Yes, so we have 10 we have 10 more minutes. And so is there any final areas of the island you'd want to show me? Any thoughts on if you wanted to explain more about your project, about the reenactment part of it, and what has that been like in the live stream of it? Or we can go into another direction. I'd love to talk more about your art practice.
Actually, that's something that I've been thinking about a lot, is how this project, or Animal Crossing in general, has affected my artist practice.
Yes.
So we can talk a little bit about that. This is like, I'm like trying to think if there's any other areas, because I've demolished a lot of my areas, and so they're kind of in flux. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out a place for us to hang. Let's go back maybe to the cafe. Or we can hang out on the beach.
Okay. Did you get rid of
hang out
your
in Prince.
house, or?
Oh, I do have a house.
Okay.
It used to be fully immersed in this theme, but I got bored of it.
Yeah,
I changed it. So,
Oh my gosh, you have ramen?
Oh yeah, my little ramen stand. I just made that recently.
Okay.
Have you seen this item yet? It's really cute. It's like very. Speaking of realistically rendered, this is like, let's have lunch. Let's have lunch.
Oh my gosh.
I do have a really cute ice cream stand here too, and we can talk about it up here maybe. Let's see if there's. Okay, let's go up here. This is a neglected area in Flux.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. You put crumpled paper and then this bug in a cup.
Yeah, that's like the alley that you like come like do your coin laundry in.
Oh my god.
Yes. Little ice cream spot here. There you go.
Okay, so your artist practice, more about the ice cream stand. I think the ice cream stand first, and then
yeah, we had to find a place to like rest and chat and everything. So when I was working on this project, I was also working on an in IRL installation, and so my installation is very modular. So I have these repetitions of multiple sculptures, and I can share it with you sometime. But basically, there are these large, these long plush sculptures of eyeballs and teeth that hang down from the ceiling and kind of create this jungle-ish atmosphere. And they all represent yokai, which are Japanese folkloric monsters, and I use them as allegories for queer ancestry. And using folklore as a way of connecting to lost ancestors or hidden ancestry that we don't know about. So in the process of making, gridding this out, for installation, you have to send those instructions off to the museum and or gallery or wherever you are showing your work. And so I had to basically create like a ceiling plan and like a grid. So if you are designing an Animal Crossing like inside your house, in the design mode, you pull things out and you like put things up, right? You can grid things around, you can move things apart, you can switch directions and stuff. And I realized as I was like communicating and creating materials for my exhibitions that like playing Animal Crossing had trained my brain in a way to really think, okay, you have a defined space. How do you move things around? What are the limitations? If you put things too close, people can't move around them. If you have a certain amount of space, maybe you need to increase or reduce the amount of objects in the room. So the practice of designing within this virtual space, was like really helped me actually conceptualize in real life. Because if you think about it, people have, you know, like these programs that they can do like interior design or architectural spaces and things like that. I don't know how to use that, but I know how to play Animal Crossing, right? So if you and now with the ability to change the size of rooms and things like that, I really do think that it's a valuable, that you can learn really valuable skills in here in terms of space and variation, or even when you're designing, like, how are you using texture? How are you using negative space? What does this space look like when you're looking at it from a low angle, a high angle, from the side? Like if I was teaching an installation class, I would be like, okay, encourage everyone to just like build an installation in Animal Crossing. And I'm so serious. Like
no, that's
like your tuition, okay, you're like, if you take an art glass class in college, it's like $300 for your materials budget. That's a switch.
Yeah.
That's a switch. That's a switch, and you get to keep that, you know what I mean? Forever. Yes. So, you know, that there's like, I just think about that sometimes. There's just like, what ways can we shift how we learn about space, especially since for a lot of, like, installation, I think is one of the most difficult art spaces to move into, because you do need a lot of storage. You need, it depends on what kind of artwork you do, but it's space is very difficult to get, especially if you're in a city like New York. So being able to express yourself and being able to take up like a whole like landscape for your vision, I think is really powerful, and something that I would definitely encourage more artists or more installation artists to enjoy and have. I know I get people want that in person experience, but there's a lot to learn, I think, within a digital landscape and environment like this.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, so have you brought this kind of installation inside a gallery space or museum space yet, through like a TV or like folks getting on your Switch and also playing it, or have you only put it on your artist website and that's in social media? Has it gone beyond the digital space, your installation on Animal Crossing? Yes.
The Wing Loop Museum has some video, like the YouTube documentation that I have up. So that's been really great to be able to share that. And it's within the context of Asian American communities and COVID-19. So like, how have folks basically handled and dealt with the pandemic personally, also within a community context. So I'm really thankful to be able to share that as well within an art context, a community context, healing context too.
That's amazing. That it's being like taken like in consideration in these like spaces. Because I feel like I've been trying to bring like digital spaces as like a real site into my own MFA program, and everyone's just kind of like, the internet space, like,
Wow.
I don't know.
Folks aren't open to it? Like,
they're open to it. They just like don't really know much about it, or that they kind of like are, it's kind of inaccessible, or that only the people who have like a Switch can access it, or other.
I see.
Yeah.
So basically, you're in a program in which there's not people that play the Switch, so that they feel like.
Yes, there's like I have a couple of people like, I'll be interviewing Roz Cruz, who is one of my professors and plays Animal Crossing, but the students don't play Animal Crossing. Also, not many of them play around in the digital realm. Yeah, I don't know if you've also met artists who do similar work as you, like any inspiration. Oh my God, the carpet man, he's here.
I know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
The hair's color palette works really well with this like pastel cityscape. It's really cute. That I do think it's, of course it's a barrier, but I think that like I said earlier, there are ways that you can document as well. And I do think that one possible solution, if it is like some type of event, would be to have you upload your design as a dream address. And then, so if y'all don't know what that means, basically you can upload your island to the Nintendo Cloud, and then with a code, you can visit that island in its completion as a dream. It's kind of framed as a dream, which is really cute. And I love that. I think that actually creates a lot of access with having the dream codes, if you did, like, for folks to just enjoy different islands in general without having like a personal connection. So if I had a dream code, like, you could go and visit, even if you're not on a Zoom with me. Of course, you missed the conversation, right? But which is really important. And my island's not complete. So there's that too. But so what you could do is even have like a Switch that you just do the dream codes with, as a way of exploring the island. So even if it's a borrowed Switch, that folks can navigate that. So I don't know, like I understand that it's a valid critique, and it's a good question to bring up for folks with this, but I think that it's all right. So it might be inaccessible for folks that don't play video games or don't have a Switch. But I do argue that creating work and creating, whether it's like community work, artwork, places of rest, that putting it in the context of this video game is also going to make it accessible to so many other people that are not coming to the art museum, that are not going to the gallery, that could care less about art, academia, all of that stuff, but can really get down with this. Absolutely. Like, so if we're going to critique Animal Crossing as an art making space or like community space, then let's not, like, I'm not trying to bring in like whataboutism like with this, but there's equal issues and with accessibility in terms of traditional art spaces or installation spaces as well. So I think that this is an incredibly legit space, and there are ways around it to make it accessible, to document it in very similar ways.
Oh, thank you for that.
So I'm really glad you're doing this project.
Yeah.
Period. I'm really glad that you're doing it, because I think that it is definitely. I'm sorry, did we just disconnect?
Yeah, I just saw it. I don't know if you saw my screen. It said like, communication error or something like that. I was gonna have you walk me out, but
I was gonna walk you out too and be so polite to do. But I guess we're just talking, and so I think my Switch fell asleep and I kind of disconnected. Right. Yeah, it booted us off our own conversation.
It's totally.
Oh, well, now I can see your island.
So
I love your waterfalls.
Any last final thoughts before I end this live stream?
I think I'm just, like I was saying earlier, I'm really glad that you're doing this project. I think that it's really important that folks start expanding how they think about digital spaces, altars, video games, and doing this kind of research, archiving it is important and it's powerful. And I think that folks will look back on what you're doing years later and find it inspiring, and also just like proof of their own research and ideas at that time as well.
Thank you. And I'm so glad for you to be a part of this. I feel like having folks that do similar work, and then, I don't know, you're also, I feel like, my Animal Crossing ancestor right now. And elder, and
went back in time.
And putting it on in the archive is going to be amazing for other folks to see your work too. And it's funny because folks thought I was in conversation with your work, and I've been actually searching for a couple of months now for people doing work on Animal Crossing, and no one knew any recommendations until one of the persons who works for Apano, mentioned your work, and I was like, oh, wow, perfect. And the timing's perfect when I was doing these interviews, so I am so grateful that they recommended me to reach out to you.
Shout outs to B. Thank you, B. I wonder how B found out about this work.
On your Instagram, I think. So.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
Okay, I should post about this somewhere.
Yeah.
I made like a whole video with the voiceover and everything.
Yeah, I saw. That was such high quality. Such a high quality video.
Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate. What I'll do is in the spring, I'll do something when it's actually cherry blossom season and get the rituals together and stuff. I'd love for you to come. That'd be really fun.
That'd be so fun. I'll keep updated on your Instagram. Is that where most of your updates are, or do you have a newsletter?
Oh yeah, I have a newsletter.
Okay.
Yeah, I can add your email to it. We can keep in touch. Keep in touch with me too. Please do. Put me on your emails as well.
Alrighty, well, I'm gonna end this, and thank you so much for your time. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, everyone. We're gonna end this. Thank you so much for stopping by. My next interview is tomorrow at, let me double check, Next interview is tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time with Virtual Care Lab. I'll have about 4 people from, I think 3 or 4 people from Virtual Care Lab on the stream, so we'll see how that goes. I haven't had more than 2 people before. So yeah, join me tomorrow, 11 a.m., and then 2 more interviews on Monday, and that will be the end of this project. So please stay with me live. Join the chat. Thanks, Maria, for joining the chat as well. Yeah. Alrighty. Have a great day, y'all.